Good day, class. Welcome to our modular distance learning in TLE10, which covers horticulture production. We are now in lesson 4. Our topic is about environmental aspects of nursery work. These are the following objectives. Letter A, identify the environmental aspects of nursery work. Letter B, enumerate the government agencies covered in OHS legislative. And letter C, give the importance of interpersonal relation. Okay, class, let me present you a word search puzzle. Try to find out the 7 acronyms that describes the government agencies in the Philippines. Okay, so now let us check if you got the correct answers. Okay, first we have DOTC. Next acronym we have DTI, which is written diagonal downward. Next acronym we have DNR. Next we have DOLE. Next acronym, which is written horizontal, LGU. Next acronym we have NEDA, which is written vertical. And last one we have DSWD. Okay, now let's move on to the environmental aspects of nursery work. Okay, first we have MSDS. It stands for Material Safety Data Sheet, a document that provides workers with procedures for safely handling or working with a particular substance. The MSDS should always accompany chemicals and substances, including soil or potting mixes. Next, number 2, we have working with soil. It is imperative to keep soil mixes moist at all times, including when moving it from one place to another. You have to consider soil as an important factor in planting. Number 3, potting and sowing materials. Some other materials used in propagation mixes also have fine particles. When using these materials, a respirator must be worn and the substances need to be moistened when blending to reduce airborne particle movement. Problems in potting, sowing materials are the presence of chemical in perlite or the fine silk dust or cocoa peat dust and in soil. As you can see in the illustration, in potting and sowing materials, you have to avoid the use of chemical as much as possible and rely on alternative methods. Number 4, OHS legislative requirements and codes of practices. Running a nursery is like managing a farm from production. It will become a business enterprise involving employer-worker relationships. As the employer, you are responsible to ensure the health and safety of all people working on your farm. The legislation can be used as farm management tools which can help your farm more safely and more profitably. This logo represents the Department of Agriculture, which established in year 1898. The Department of Agriculture has a big part in farm production. Under the OSH legislative, we have letter A, accidents in the nursery. The Occupational Health and Safety Act will apply to all workplaces, including farms. In our country, the agency that is in charge to take the lead in the conduct of occupational safety and health systems, or the acronym is OSHS, is the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE. The DOLE is the lead agency of the government in the administration and enforcement of laws, policies, and programs on occupational safety and health. And the legal basis of its mandate is the Presidential Decree Number 442, Labor Code of the Philippines. Under the rule, the duties of employers are: number 1, furnish safe, healthful working conditions. Number 2, give job safety instruction. Number 3, comply with OSHS. And number 4, use approved safety devices. As you can see in the picture, you have to avoid these practices. Always keep the tools and equipment on the proper storage after use. Next, letter B, imminent danger. A condition or practice that could reasonably be expected to cause death or serious physical harm before abatement under the enforcement procedure can be accomplished. As you can see in the picture, you have to wear a personal protective equipment, especially in the area with high voltage electricity. Letter C, government agencies. Local government units such as provinces, towns, cities, and its barangays. Department of Environmental and Natural Resources, DENR. Department of Agriculture, DA. Department of Trade and Industry, DTI. Department of Education, DepEd. Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD. Department of Transportation and Communication, DOTC. And National Economic and Development Authority, NEDA. In legislative requirement, these are the following agencies involved. This picture shows the different logo of government agencies in the Philippines that involves in farm production. Next, last number, 5, role of communication in interpersonal relationship. Communication is said to be the basis of every interpersonal relationship. In fact, effective communication is the key to a healthy and a long-lasting relationship. If individuals do not communicate with each other effectively, problems are bound to come. Okay, as you can see in the picture, it illustrates the constant communication and camaraderie to all people around you is a key to any business success. Going back, we have 5 environmental aspects of nursery work. Number 1, MSDS. Number 2, working with soil. Number 3, potting and sowing materials. Number 4, OHS legislative requirement. And number 5, role of communication in interpersonal relationship. Okay, now, points to ponder. Horticultural production is primarily involved in the intensive use of resources, such as land, water, labor, and inputs such as fertilizers and pesticides. Nursery is the place where planting materials are raised either by seeds or by vegetative means, with care before transplanting at desired site. Mass multiplication of quality planting materials is the central theme of nursery, which refers to efficient utilization of resources for economic returns. Okay, now I want you to answer the learning task 1. Write the meaning of the following acronyms of government agencies covered in OHS legislative requirements and codes of practice. Write your answer on a piece of paper. Number 1, DOLE. Number 2, LGU. Number 3, DENR. Number 4, DTI. And number 5, DSWD. Okay, I guess you're done answering this learning task 1. Okay, now, let's proceed to learning task 2. Each student will plan on how to put up a plant nursery. You are going to answer the following in a paragraph form as part of the plan. Write your answers on a piece of paper. Number 1, which among the factors are you going to consider in your plan and why? Number 2, what method of plant propagation will you concentrate in the project and why? And number 3, why are the interpersonal relations and communications important in plant nursery operation? Okay, class, I want you to consider these rubrics in answering the learning task 2. For the first category, which is the topic or main idea, 4 is the highest points following these guidelines, and then 3, 2, and the lowest point is 1. For the next category, which is organization, following these guidelines, again, 4 is the highest points, followed by 3, 2, and lowest is 1. And last category is the legibility. 4 is the highest score, followed by 3, 2, and the lowest score is 1. Okay, now, for your engagement activity, in an Oslo paper, draw or cut out pictures of your ideal plant nursery. And write a reflection in your notebook after taking this lesson. Again, write at least 2 to 3 sentences. I learned that blank, and I realized that blank. Okay, class, so that's the end of our lesson 4. Compile all your answer sheets in your portfolio and be ready on the date of submission. I am your teacher in TLE, Ma'am Heidi. Thank you and good luck.